Hello and welcome back to Talon 101. The move we need to look at is RFF B+4. This is a really good high crushing high. That's right, high crushing high. And you usually see it after forward 2 on block. And if the opponent does decide to challenge here, before back in Tekken 7, that was a counter hit launch. They get insta tail spinned. You get like an FF4 into a 3-4 into Firestorm, right? That was like 76 damage to maybe upwards to an 80. That was pretty good. Now, just like F1+2, it took a hit. And the most you get now, since it is plus 13, is Ignition Barrage to give you 42 damage and heat. And if there's no heat, 42 damage into +4 Force Crouch. The question is, does it still have something to offer? Well, the answer to that question is obviously yes. Just like F1+2, it still does something, which is mainly do it in a lot of like situations where you find yourself in RFF and let's say you're a little bit negative or neutral, right? So something like, let's say, if you were 0 on block and the opposing Hwoarang here decides to, let's say, do a high, right? They want to check with a jab, maybe a back 4 or whatever. Or like, let's say you're playing against Steve, he wants to do back 1 here. There, it's gone. So it's really for a lot of these niche situations because the moment you are at an advantage, that isn't the option you're considering. So it's limited to these situations. And that's like, so again, forward 2, RFF 2-1, LFS 2-2. Again, for if you get the second hit, because the second hit is 0 on block. LFS back 3 as well, because it is 0. So it's like you can take away like the high challenges and potentially like get heat from it. Of course, again, forgot to mention the frame data. This is 18 frames. And if it does connect against the opponent, you're plus 12. Of course, you're a little bit too far to like get a counter hit launch. You can't even like get a DF2 if they decide to press a button. So you can go like straight up hard read with back 3, but I'd highly recommend just going for maybe Peacekeeper right afterwards. Or even like DF4 if it connects there and you want to like really keep them in check. And it, of course, yeah, plus 13. So you saw it earlier, Ignition Barrage. But if you didn't want to enter heat, you can like reduce it by 3 damage to get 42 damage. And you'll get like a mid-mid into plus 6, which is pretty good. The reason why there's only 2 options here is because, first of all, they didn't make it plus 14. I don't understand why this move isn't plus 14 like counter hit F1+2. And the opponent does recover crouching. So you don't even get a 4-3. And Hwoarang doesn't have like a lot of mid options that come out really, really fast. It would be really cool if we could have gotten something like, excuse me, up back 3, which you could get with, what do you call this? F1+2. Okay, of course, granted, the opponent is at the wall. You can also get like a 4-3, 1-2 into Flamingo. No, RFF B+4 is probably, it's just like, it's the weaker one. It is essentially like the weaker option. It also does track. So if you put yourself at, let's say, 0, it will not track towards the left. Again, this is an average sidestep. So what more, a better sidestep? They're going to get even more space. Again, that does not hit there. Again, sidestep left. We're going to change this to sidewalk left. But it does beat sidestep right. So if your opponent is stepping towards the right, you can throw this out for plus 12 into a DF4 check. Because I believe they cannot backdash the DF4. Or they can. So that's where the Peacekeeper comes if they're not backdashing. That's a very tricky situation on hit. So it does beat sidestep right. Here you go. Completely tracks towards sidestep right. It's just that, you know, it comes out at 18 frames. So it's a little bit of like a slow option to consider once you're at Flamingo. Or once you're at like right foot forward. Because you do have like other options that would catch and keep Hwoarang at a decent advantage. It's just like something, if you want to use it, and you were like maybe considering like the opponent is going to high crush there, like, yeah, I got them. Yeah, so that is RFF B+4 now in Tekken 8. It's still more or less doing the same thing. It's just that its reward has reduced, I guess, significantly, right? Because, you know, you lost the counter hit launcher. Again, that's been the lesson for today. I've been Frontier, and thank you for watching.